things I know are true. The Lakers should trade Kobe Bryant to the Knicks. It doesn't matter who quarterbacks the Dolphins. It's the defense, stupid. Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston going to the Middle East on a peace mission is a great idea, and I'm Max Kellerman. Meet Joe Black was huge in Ramallah.
It's Around the Horn, the show of competitive banter. Here's Max Kellerman.
Welcome back to what might possibly be the greatest show ever televised. It is possible. We're talking Kobe versus Shaq Part 2, problems in the Vikings locker room, and the Red Sox search for a new manager, all with our national panel. And here they are at the Denver Post. It's Woody Page.
Don't make me come back there.
Hey, Woody, how's the remake to Heaven Can Wait going? At the Dallas Morning News, it's Texas Tim Calishaw.
Howdy, Max.
Howdy. At the Chicago Sun-Times, it is Jay Marriott.
Yeah, this is my team, and you can opt out, Kelly.
And at the Boston Globe, it is the return of Michael Smith. How you doing, Michael?
I'm just a cog, man.
How'd you get that candy cane wrapped around your neck like that? That must have been difficult. We're the show that scores the argument. Here's how I do it with these joysticks and mute buttons. I give these guys points based on point of view, style, and information. Good answers get 2, great ones 3, and I use the mute button to penalize and direct traffic. We eliminate guys, so a one-on-one showdown determines the winner. Let's make it happen.
It's the first word.
The first words are LA Zoo, which is what Shaq and Kobe have turned the Lakers into this preseason. In response to Shaq's weekend shots, Kobe, who may or may not play tonight against the Mavs, told ESPN's Jim Gray, quote, "This is his team, so it's time for him to act like it. That means no more coming into camp fat and out of shape. Somebody in this organization had to speak up, because his unprofessionalism hurt us last year. I don't want it to hurt us this year. If leaving the Lakers at the end of the season is what I decide, a major reason for that will be Shaq's childlike selfishness and jealousy." Guys, should the Lakers try to trade Kobe before he leaves as a free agent? Around the Horn and Jay Marriott.
That is absolutely asinine. Number one, you're not going to get anything significant for him because, I mean, what if the guy goes to jail and a GM trades for him? That GM will be out of a job tomorrow. So all you could get would be a scrap anyway, and that scrap is not going to let the Lakers win a championship. You will not win a championship without Kobe Bryant, even with Malone and Peyton around. So it's a moot point, Kellerman. No, you keep him around, and then you let him go in free agency.
The question is, should they try to do something? The answer is yes. Jay, what happened when Michael Jeffrey Jordan left Chicago? They got nothing for him. The team died. That's what's going to happen to Kobe at the end of this year. And besides, what can win a title better than a motivated Shaq? What would he be like if Kobe's gone and now it's his chance?
Well, who do you take for him,
This
Tim?
is my team.
What kind of value are you going to get for him?
A serviceable good player, a starter.
Serviceable?
Yes, because if you've got Shaq motivated like that with Malone and Peyton, you're going to win if they're all healthy anyway.
I don't know. Go ahead, Michael.
Guys, Shaquille O'Neal is the present, Karl Malone's the present, so is Gary Payton. Kobe Bryant is the future. I mean, this guy's in his 20s, got a long road ahead of him. Shaquille O'Neal has had health issues, won't be around very long. You got to do whatever you can to keep this guy in LA. The foundation of your team is Kobe Bryant. Whether Shaquille O'Neal likes it or not, your long-term future is with Kobe Bryant. You got to keep this guy around.
I do think, Michael, that you're not on to what exactly is going on here. Maybe they should trade him to Denver. Then he could wear that electronic ankle bracelet the whole season, and he wouldn't have to report to the police department once a week. In truth, there's no reason for them to trade him. What should happen is that Kobe should shut up, rehabilitate, and play this season and keep as low a profile as he possibly can.
Wait a minute, Woody, you bring up something interesting. The ankle, you know, you're referencing his whole trial right now, but I haven't heard anyone else do that recently. I mean, could it be that Shaq and Kobe have kind of invented this controversy to fake everyone out? Is that possible? Tim, what do you think?
I can't believe you came up with an original idea, but there's some possibility there that they're trying to defray and shift the attention away from what's going on outside basketball.
That's crazy.
And
you know why that's
court.
crazy, Woody? Because it would only be short term. Even if they are acting here, the next time we have something going on with the trial, we're going to be focusing on that again. So that's preposterous.
I'm
sorry, wait, I said Tim before, I didn't let him talk. Tim, go ahead.
If they were just acting here, Kobe wouldn't have dragged Phil Jackson into it. That's the real problem. This has gone beyond a little war of words between Shaq and Kobe. Now he's calling out his coach for not backing him up and not stepping into the situation.
Michael?
It's also active because if you look at their comments, they're deep-rooted comments. I mean, Shaq talking about Kobe's been getting things, you know, from the media for a long time, and Kobe talking about Shaq coming in fat and out of shape. That's more personal than acting.
It does seem like Shaq's turning the table to those comments. Oh, I'm the one coming in out of shape? Look at Kobe's shape this year. But I don't know. Shaq made that comment last year. NBA is nothing but actors. Is it not possible? Possible. Next topic. Woody Page's favorite NFL quarterback, Brian Griese, stepped in for Jay Fiedler last night and led Miami to a boring 26-10 win over San Diego. Griese was 20 for 29 for an efficient $192 and 3 TDs as the Dolphins offense woke up for the first time all year. Guys, how much do the Miami Dolphins matter in the AFC title race around the horn of Jay Marriott?
No, Kansas City matters more. Indianapolis, Tennessee, even New England, which has been banged up. Belichick is doing a tremendous job there. Now, the Dolphins have problems. Now they're going to have a quarterback controversy, and in the middle of it is a coach, Dave Wantz, that I have no confidence in. Nobody in South Florida has any confidence in. The way that Vermeil has the Chiefs playing right now and these other football teams, no, I'm sorry, the Dolphins are not going to the Super Bowl this year.
Look, Jay got this one right. The Dolphins are the Groundhog Day of the NFL. They do the same thing every year. They start off kind of hot. They kind of tease everybody. They fall apart when it gets cold. This is a team that's been good for a long time, but they haven't been to an AFC championship game since 1992. That's a long time of a long patch of futility for this team, and it's going to continue.
Look, guys, the difference in this year's Dolphins is now they have a backup quarterback. If you look at last year, Ray Lucas stepped in. They lost most of their games when Ray Lucas was the quarterback. There's no quarterback controversy. Jay Fiedler is the guy, but now you have a guy that you can depend on in Brian Griese. You know you can do that. Second thing, they've got a running game. They got Ricky Williams, one of the better running backs in the league. That could get you further places. They got the top scoring defense in the league, fewest points allowed, best run defense in the league. Of course they matter. If they can win in December in New England and at Buffalo, they're going to matter in the AFC playoff picture.
Come on, that guy that looks like a barber pole in Boston doesn't know what he's talking about. You guys don't understand. Brian Griese, if they continue to play him at quarterback, is going to take them down the river. There's no chance. You've got to go with Fiedler to have a chance, and if you don't do that, you're going to continue to have severe...
Well, Woody, Michael brought it up, and now you're referencing it again. Is there a quarterback controversy here?
Well, of course there is, but I continue to maintain to you guys that when a guy's hurt, he gets his job back unless there's some...
that doesn't always happen.
Okay, go ahead. Mariotti, go ahead.
Woody's actually making sense today. I mean, Fiedler is 33-15, second best record among NFL starters. I mean, you do not ignore that. He's part of the inner fabric of this team. Woody's right about Griese. You cannot, Michael, I can't believe you said you can rely on Brian Griese.
No,
next week he'll throw 4 interceptions.
No, better than you can Ray Lucas is what I'm saying. You can rely on him better than you can.
Look,
second, you don't get excited about Brian Griese after throwing 3 touchdowns against a 30th ranked defense and all of football. And by the way, Max, I got this pass from your girlfriend, by the way.
You know, Michael, I'd take points off for stuff like that. Tim, last word.
Fiedler should be the guy, but remember this, Norv Turner was coordinator in Dallas. When Aikman got hurt, Berline came in. Aikman was back to the playoffs. They stayed with Berline. Yep. He will go with a hot quarterback.
That's right. Yes, Woody, what's this thing? You can't lose your job to injury. Sure you can. Tell Wally Pippy you can't lose your job to injury.
Would you move on, please?
I will. Buy ourselves next.
Coming up, Randy Moss is having an MVP season for the 6-1 Vikings. So where does their owner get off complaining? Blah. The Spurs had the guts, the skill, and the Tim Duncan to win it all. Can they do it again this time around? The Horn.
Around the Horn. Brought to you by 1010-987. Give it a try.
Buy or sell?
Buy or sell time. Let's keep it moving. First topic. The Minnesota Vikings got chewed out after their home loss to the Giants by owner Red McCombs, who told the players they humiliated the franchise with their performance. The entire team was reportedly taken aback by the comments, considering their 6-1 record. And head coach Mike Tice called McCombs to express his disappointment. Buy or sell Macomb rip job motivating the Vikings, Woody?
I'm selling this. I was in the hallway a week ago when they beat the Broncos, and McCombs was man-hugging the players and slapping Randy Moss on the back and acting like they had just won the Super Bowl. Right. These coaches have to just stay out of the way.
Owners, you mean?
Or owners, too.
But we understand what Woody.
I'm selling. I mean, the teams are rarely motivated by their owners. He's already apologized. Their motivation is Green Bay coming to town. They can wrap up the division this week.
Jay?
I mean, I'm selling. They hadn't lost a game since last December the 8th, and the owner is humiliated. Stay up in your booth, drink your martinis, smoke your cigars, Woo, rich people, stay the hell out of the way. Sell.
Michael Smith.
Yeah, I'm definitely selling this as well. I mean, they gave the guy the game ball last week and sang happy birthday to him after they won the game against Denver. No reason for them to come under this. They were 6-0. They lost their first game in 10 games, excuse me. No reason to do it. Stay out of the way, especially for a guy who was talking about moving the team recently.
No, you all make good points. However, the question was, would it motivate them? No one really said it wouldn't motivate them. He just said it wasn't a good idea. Next topic. Oh, by the way, the San Antonio Spurs are world champs and open their defense against Phoenix tonight, with Rasho Nesterovic replacing David Robinson. And by defense, I mean defense, of course. San Antonio Express news columnist Buck Harvey writes, quote, Nesterovic simply burns 6 fouls, throws in a few jumpers, then gives way to Malik Rose and Robert Horry. The Spurs will have the same chance they had a year ago. Buy or sell San Antonio's chances of repeating as NBA champs, Kalashaw?
I'm selling. Look, people are forgetting how much this team has lost. This team also was 13 points behind the Mavs in Game 6 last year until Steven Jackson and Steve Kerr came in and hit 6 3-pointers. Those guys are gone. David Robinson's gone. Speedy Claxton's gone. It's a different team.
You are such a homer, Kalashaw. I'm going to buy this thing. You know why? Everybody else has issues. The Lakers have a Kobe issue. Sacramento has a Weber knee issue and other issues. They've lost their depth. Dallas, your team, has chemistry issues. I'm going to buy the Spurs. Michael?
I'm going to buy the Spurs as well. They got the best player in the league, point blank, in Tim Duncan. Then they got a clutch shooter and Robert Horry to come off the bench and make those threes. They got Ron Mercer, a consistent scorer. Nesterovic, all he has to do is play defense. I'm buying. Everybody else is trying to mesh a lot of new guys together.
Woody?
You guys, I can't believe it. I'm selling this. I love Buck Harvey. He's a good friend, but he's wrong about this. The Spurs are not even the best team in their own division anymore.
Yeah, by the way, how come no one mentions Turkoglu? Not only does Sacramento lose him, but San Antonio picks him up. Come on. All right. No, all right, this. Next topic. Two-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle Daryl Russell was cut by the Oakland Raiders on Monday. Russell had just been reinstated by the NFL after a 1.5-season suspension for violating the league's substance abuse policy. Last fall, Russell was charged with rape, but the case was later dropped. The Redskins have done a background check on Russell and seem very interested. Buy or sell, taking the risk of signing Russell. Mariotti.
I'm selling. There's a lot of rust on this guy, 1.5 years, and his salary is $9 million. That's a lot of money for that kind of baggage. I'm going to sell, Keller.
Michael.
Yeah, it's way too much baggage. And aside from that, he's 27 years old and is tempting a 2-time Pro Bowler. But the problem is, even back when he was in his heyday, he had some questions about his motor. Takes a lot of plays off, especially now he's had 1.5 years off.
Right.
Who knows what he's going to be.
Maybe he's rested. Woody Page.
Oh, I'm buying this. I like the fact, and I was back in D.C., whether anybody noticed, and I like the fact that Snyder and Spurrier are trying to bring that team around. They're trying to infuse some new excitement, new high energy, and I think Russell's signing will help that.
Okay. Tim?
New excitement, a guy who sells ecstasy. You have to sell this. The Oakland Raiders cut him. That's all you need to know. Oakland doesn't even want the guy, and they need players.
Yeah. Very reasonable. Next topic. The big winners in this week's BCS rankings appear to be the Florida State Seminoles, who took advantage of Georgia's close call against UAB to move up to 3rd, highest position among teams with 1 loss. FSU comes off a blowout over Wake Forest to play 2-5 Notre Dame at South Bend. Do you buy or sell Florida State's national title chances, Michael Smith?
I buy it. They're going to win at Notre Dame. They always win the Bowden Bowl against Clemson. All they have to do is watch out for NC State at home, and they'll go on the road and beat Florida. Miami could drop this game against Virginia Tech this week. I definitely buy it.
Woody?
I'm selling this. Have any of you guys seen Florida State? I was in Tallahassee. This is not a very good football team, guys.
All right, Tim?
How does Woody do the show every day when he's in Tallahassee and Washington and talking to Red McCullough? I don't know how that happens. I'm selling. Oklahoma and Miami, they're going undefeated.
Okay. Now, I'm selling. USC holds the cards here because Florida State lost that game to Miami. If USC wins out, they're going to jump over Florida State. So
okay.
I sell.
All right. Guys,
you're holding
am I missing something, Woody? Be quiet. You're eliminated, of course. Am I missing something? Or did FSU not get beaten by Miami, manhandled by Miami at home? I mean, national title chances? You guys are disregarding Miami? Wait, what am I missing here?
I'm not disregarding them.
I made a joke about my girlfriend. Be very careful. Out of bounds is next.
Coming up, AI stands for absolutely incredible. But do the Sixers have too many question marks around the answer? Furthermore, Vlad Guerrero is sick. But is he worth turning your payroll upside down? The Horn! around the Horn Fantasy Football League, Michael Holly's stylistics have done us all a favor by unseating Smellerman, otherwise known as The Undertaker. And the Goat Boys of Alabama and the Woodpeckers are duking it out for last place. Sound familiar? As for today, Michael Smith has 31, Jay Mariotti has 25, Tim Calishaw has 25, and Woody Page is out. Out of Washington, out of Denver, out of Tallahassee, just plain out. And now, it's out of bounds.
It's out of bounds where it's all inbounds. First topic, Red Sox brass said Monday that Grady Little would not have been re-upped as manager even if Grady had pulled Pedro Martinez in Game 7 against the Yankees. In related news, Nixon would have been impeached even if Watergate had never happened. Among the names mentioned in Boston Search are Glenn Hoffman, Bobby Valentine, Terry Francona, and even Whitey Herzog. Shit, you get Whitey Herzog, you grab him. Guys, does it really matter who the Red Sox or any other team hires as manager? Michael Smith?
It definitely matters in Boston. I mean, Larry Lucchino said himself that the next manager is going to have a lot of Grady Little in him. I mean, to deal with the personalities in that clubhouse is going to be a task. He's dealing with Pedro in his contract, Nomar in his contract, Varitek in his contract, Derek Lowe. It takes a special guy just to deal with Manny Ramirez by himself. So I mean, it's going to take a really special guy to deal with this job.
It doesn't really matter. Look, the Red Sox have already gone halfway to this Moneyball approach. Now what they need to do, find some 24-year-old MIT grad student who knows this book backwards and forward, who knows Trot Nixon's win shares means he can't bat eighth.
Oh, that's exactly why this job, it is very important to find the right guy, because he's got to balance Pedro and Manny in the clubhouse with this Bill James geekology that you advocate, Kellerman. I mean, I don't know of many people out there who understand old school and new school, but they got to find the guy. Maybe Glenn Hoffman, somebody who managed the Dodgers for a while, and is a young guy who can keep people together in a clubhouse, might be your guy.
The guy to do it is Bruce Bochy. They know him from San Diego. He's popular with players, good with strategy, and he's a guy, like I said, if they know from San Diego, perfect guy to do it.
Calishaw, who do you think is the best candidate?
I don't think Valentine really is that bad a choice, being a Connecticut guy, and if you had a fiery personality guy, that might help deal with some of those
Valentine and Pedro sitting together in a dugout would be crazy.
Fun to watch.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know if Valentine's right for the Red Sox. The Red Sox need a manager who's not going to get in his own way. You see what McKeon did in the World Series. All he did, don't do anyone any favors. He didn't throw anyone a bone. You know, Bobby Cox, Joe Torre. You can count on all these managers to sometimes do the other team a favor. The Red Sox need a guy who won't do that. And that's the sabermetric approach. Right, Tim?
Correct.
Next topic. Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston are among the celebrities on a peace mission to the Middle East, which could be a problem because while Sharon apparently loves Friends, Arafat is a big extreme makeover guy on ABC, Thursdays at 9, 8 Central. Who has better career prospects at this point, Brad or Jennifer? Tim Calishaw?
Oh, come on, you got to go with Brad. At least he's got a little celluloid history. 7, Thelma and Louise, the highly underrated 12 Monkeys.
Yeah.
I mean, Jennifer Aniston is going to have to do something besides sit around a couch with David Schwimmer and...
Hey, Calishaw, once Pitt loses those blonde locks and he goes gray, he's going to be the next Lorenzo Lamas. I mean, he cannot act. You obviously didn't see Meet Joe Black.
No.
I mean, what a rockhead. She has talent, at least. And yeah, I would say Jennifer, in the long run, talk to me in 10 years, she'll be on top of this thing.
How could you guys be forgetting about Fight Club? And the first rule of Fight Club, nobody talks about Fight Club. You cannot overrule.
So you can't. So don't talk about it. What else is he doing?
No, and I mean Jennifer. I love Jennifer. Actually, I really do love Jennifer. She's the second best Jennifer on the planet. But you got to go with Brad Pitt. I mean, every time I take Max's girlfriend to the movies, she always wants to pick a great.
Wait a minute. First Jennifer is Jennifer Lopez, of course, Michael, right?
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just checking. Mariotti, how could you think that when Brad Pitt's looks go, his career goes, when traditionally in Hollywood, a woman's career is much shorter?
Because I think she has talent. She's very popular. Whenever you see these internet posts, she always wins. But people think she's down to earth. I think that carries you a long way, even in Hollywood.
But Jay, you're missing the point. A woman's career in Hollywood is much shorter. She's in her 30s already. Brad Pitt, and she's a better actor than Brad Pitt. I don't know.
She's 25, Max.
What's that?
She's actually 25. I know these things.
Jennifer Aniston's 25?
He made my point for me.
Jennifer Aniston's not 25. She's been on Friends for 10 years. What are you talking about?
Beauty.
Jay, you are gone. I'll decide who I mute around here, Tim. Mute Jay again, even though he's already gone. That's a stupid thing to do. Bye, Jay. I'll be nice. Showdown's next.
Coming up, Britney says she's done with racy photo shoots. Why is this bad? The reasons abound. the Horn.
Coming up on SportsCenter, the latest in the Shaq-Kobe feud, headlines opening night in the NBA. Who's going to win the NBA title? And why Jamal Lewis's run for 2,000 yards is being stifled by his own coach. SportsCenter, 6 p.m. Eastern.
Around the Horn. Brought to you by Singular, the wireless company that fits you best.
Showdown time. Michael Smith, Aniston's 25. Where are you getting this stuff from?
I'm sorry, what I meant to say is she looks 25. And Jennifer, call me sweetheart.
Oh, yeah, you're going to take her right from Brad Pitt. Hey, disembodied voice!
What do you need?
What'd we miss?
The Lakers announced they will fine Kobe Bryant for speaking out when the team told him not to. Jack McKeon will return to the Marlins. And David Schwimmer and Matt LeBlanc have followed Brad and Jennifer's lead. They have reportedly eradicated famine and disease from the planet. Good for them.
Isn't that nice?
Good kids.
First topic. Allen Iverson says in Tuesday's Philadelphia Inquirer that the 2003-2004 Sixers are, quote, better than the team we had when we went to the finals in 2001. Philly's biggest addition is Glenn Robinson, while Randy Ayers fills the void left by Larry Brown. Is this season's Sixers squad as good as the 2001 team? 15 seconds each. Kalisho, go.
No, I don't think Allen Iverson has thought this one through. If Glenn Big Dog Robinson is the answer to anything, you don't want to know what the question is. He is not going to be a supporting player there. And Randy Ayers doesn't fill the void left by Larry Brown. Larry Brown's probably the best coach in the league. Ayers hasn't coached at this level.
I agree with you that Larry's probably the best coach in the league, but what's gone is all the turmoil between Brown and Allen Iverson. Iverson had a great summer with the U.S. team, become unselfish, great front line. I like Glenn Robinson, Mark Jackson from Golden State, Derek Coleman. They're better than they were a couple of years ago.
Yeah, Tim, great line. You don't want to know what the question is. That carries the day, no question about it. Next topic. While the Yankees draw up their wish list, 71 major leaguers filed for free agency Monday. Among the marquee free agents are Vladimir Guerrero, check. Gary Sheffield, check if the price is right. And Bartolo Colon, check. Get rid of Weaver. Who is the best free agent on the market? 15 seconds each. Michael Smith, go.
It's by far Vladimir Guerrero. Best outfield arm in the major leagues, bar none. Young, raw, power hitter, can hit to all parts of the field. Yep. Great player that nobody ever gets to see. You got to spend whatever it takes to get Vlad Guerrero.
You know, Guerrero is a great player, but he's a quiet, shy guy. Does not like the limelight. Liked Montreal. He would be a disaster in New York. Miguel Tejada was the heart of that A's lineup for the last 3 years. If you can get an elite shortstop who can hit and play like him, you've got to go after Tejada.
Tejada's not quite an elite shortstop. That's a myth. He's very good. Not quite elite.
MVP.
All right, fine. There. It's a sweep. We're out of time. 15 seconds.
Thank you. Bob Knight is at it again. Of course, he said when it comes to this National College Basketball Ethics meeting, he'd rather listen to Saddam Hussein on civil rights. Bob, you can't say things like that, but let's at least give him credit for not going to that charade of a meeting. The other coaches just went. They were worried about losing their Final Four ticket.
Well said. That's going to do it, folks. We're on a 23-and-a-half-hour break. See you Wednesday around the horn. Hey, Michael, you think you're going to win this show when you take shots at my girlfriend?
I'm 0 for 3.
Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. Tony, you'd never refer to me as childlike, unprofessional, and a bad teammate, would you?
I'm Tony Kornheiser. No way. At least not on the record.
You better not.
Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Wilbon and I will get to Brian Griese and Bob Knight in the Maverick shimmery new uniforms. But we start with Kobe Bryant detonating a series of nuclear bombs on Shaquille O'Neal. Wilbon, you think David Guest got it bad from Liza around the face and head? Kobe called Shaq unprofessional, childlike, fat and out of shape, a bad teammate, and a bad leader. Wow. I have never heard a teammate on the record say anything close to this about another teammate. They have 3 rings together. You know them, Michael. Do they really hate each other this much?
Well, before Friday, I would have said no. I'm not going to sit here and make the case that they've been best friends. I mean, they don't live the same sort of lifestyle. I mean, much has been made of Kobe being sort of aloof and off to himself, and Shaq is a gregarious guy who has a lot of people around all the time. But hate, no. I thought, Tony, they like to get under each other's skin. They like to mess with each other. That's fine, but I never thought dislike to hate, which is what it appears like now, but I never thought that before.
Shaq took a couple of shots at Kobe, and then Kobe came with everything in the arsenal at Shaq, apparently. And one of the things that's very disturbing, were I Kobe Bryant, was he says that through all of this in the summer, you know, because he is going to be tried for rape. Yes. Through all of this, his teammate, Shaquille O'Neal, never got in contact with him. If that's true, how do you live with that?
Well, if that's true, Tony, and I have not known Kobe to just fabricate something. If that is true, we have to hear from Shaq. We have to get Shaq's side of this. If that's true, that's when this goes from, you know what, we're not best friends to dislike to something else, if that's true.
This is a guy you've shared too much with for that to happen.
Now, Stephen Smith is reporting on ESPN that there are sources close to Shaquille O'Neal who say he left him messages. We don't know. But if that's true, that has to be the source of great irritation for Kobe.
You know what's strange about this? I was on the radio today getting all sorts of emails from people who say this is a conspiracy to deflect attention away from Kobe's trial and put it on the basketball court. Does that make any sense to you?
That Shaquille O'Neal would have some vested interest in doing that. And why would he do that? Why would he be party to that? No, I don't believe that. This is two guys who right now don't like each other.
You think this is real?
Oh, absolutely. Tony, we're talking about affecting careers here. The person paid a lot of money to clean up this mess and keep the Lakers playing as a championship-level team is the coach, Phil Jackson. And one of Phil's most effective methods of resolving conflict is to do very little, sometimes nothing at all. But, Tony, that isn't going to work this time. After yesterday's practice, Phil told Kobe and Shaq to stop with the public comments, and Kobe, after that, talked to Jim Gray. Today, Phil says he's going to find Kobe. So, Tony, you're Dr. Phil. What do you do?
Well, Dr. Phil always says, get real. That's not going to work here. If I'm Phil Jackson, the first thing I do is I make a phone call to Michael Jordan. I say, help me out here. Come counsel Kobe and put on a pair of shorts because I need you. I think
you're kidding, right?
I am not kidding at all. I think
serious?
This is the absolute scenario for Michael Jordan to come back to basketball and play with the Lakers. The guy who can solve this right now, in my opinion, is Shaquille. Now, it's going to take a big man to do what I'm going to suggest he does. But he says out loud, you know what? I probably shouldn't have started this with Kobe. I apologize for the things I said to Kobe. I was insensitive to the circumstance Kobe finds himself in, and I should have known better as a teammate. And I forgive Kobe for what he said about me because he's under a lot of stress. You know Shaq well. Is that in him?
It's in him. Whether he will do it or not, I don't know. Is it in him? Yes. We've seen Shaq turn situations. He can make light of something. He can bring great gravity to something. Shaq has a fully developed personality. If he wants to do that, he could.
I don't think Kobe now is capable of doing that, of reaching out.
And I understand that Kobe is under the stress, and I agree with you, that could work. I was standing in the locker room in Las Vegas after this preseason exhibition game, whatever, when Shaq first said, I think he needs to shoot less and get his legs under him. I'm talking to Karl Malone. I hear it did not resonate to me to be a diss of Kobe. But Kobe, who was standing 5 feet away, certainly took it that way, Tony.
Well, in any case, when Shaq came back at Kobe, he said, if you want to opt out down the road, opt out now. This is the diesel ship. So we see that both people are at work here. You know what I want to see in that game tonight?
What?
Pre-game introductions. Because I think that the crowd, the LA crowd,
They're going to choose sides.
No, I don't think they will. I think they'll cheer lustily for both people to try and bring them together.
Maybe you're right.
If this was last year's Laker team, and it was clear that Kobe and Shaq were mortal enemies, I would say the Lakers were done. But this year's Lakers have added Karl Malone and Gary Payton, 2 Hall of Famers. And so as crazy as this sounds, Wilbon, I still think that the Lakers, with or without Kobe, are the team to beat in the NBA. What do you think?
Well, I know Shaq agrees with you and has said so. I don't believe that. I believe with Kobe Bryant, they are the team to beat. I believe without him, no. No, I don't see how that's possible.
Let me tell you why it's possible.
Gary Payton and Karl Malone going straight to the Hall of Fame.
Right.
But they are in their mid, in Payton's case, 30s, and late 40 when you're Karl Malone's case.
Let me tell you why it's possible.
They can't be out there playing 40 minutes a night.
Let me tell you why it's possible. Neither of those guys has a ring, and they want one badly. Shaquille can use this for self-motivation. He can go out there like Wilt Chamberlain. He's saying, I'm going to prove it right now, and I'm going to, as Bruce Springsteen said, I'm going to prove it all night.
But Shaq proves it every year. You think Shaq's got another level for 6 months before the playoffs to burn himself out?
To show Kobe Bryant I can do it without you. And I said early on in this debate, I thought that Kobe Bryant would not play much this year, that things would get to him, especially stress. I think now there's a possibility that Kobe will play little, if got all.
The knee situation and may not even play tonight. I think they need. He's the best all-court player in the game.
Does he want to come back and play with these people under this condition?
What's he going to do, sit out the whole year apart from the legal issues?
He could say, I want to devote myself to the legal issues.
Okay,
he could say that.
all right, it's increasingly apparent, at least to me, that Kobe Bryant ain't long for the LA Lakers. He was already going to opt out of his contract and explore his options as a free agent at the end of the season. And everybody, and I mean everybody, is going to be interested in Kobe. Then Kobe and Shaq could get what they claim they want, a chance to win a championship without the other. So, Tony, which one would you rather have, Shaq or Kobe?
You know, I've said a million times, I think Kobe's the best all-around basketball player in the world and better at a comparable stage than Michael Jordan. You know, I've said that. But I'm old school in this regard. I take the big man. I take Shaq because every time he walks out on the court, he is the most valuable player. You can get a guard who can score 20 points. You can get a guard who can feed somebody the ball. You can't
Kobe's more than a guard.
But you can't get Shaquille. So if I have to choose, I take Shaquille. Who do you choose?
Here's the one difference. Shaquille O'Neal's going to be 32 years old. If Shaq was 28,
but it's
Kobe's
right
25,
now. The question's right now.
But he's 31 now. I'm not going to trade 7 years when Kobe Bryant can go somewhere and, like Michael Jordan, make a team, a bad team, a contender, instantly. If they're the same age, I'm taking Shaq. I'm not giving away 7 years.
Okay.
I'm taking Kobe at 25.
Well, if the question...
Shaq, I agree with you, is the most dominant force in the NBA.
But if the question is right now, today...
For this season?
Okay,
for
now
this season,
Kobe is
Shaq.
20 pounds underweight.
For this
Kobe
season,
is distracted.
Shaquille,
So there's no choice right
O'Neal.
now.
There's no choice.
Okay.
I'm just saying,
What about-
next year when he's a free agent and if you're the Los Angeles Lakers, guess who's going to walk? I know Kobe is going to have to leave because his contract's going to be up.
Right.
But, Tony, every single team will be after this guy. And
so you would take Kobe. And right now,
at 25,
I would take Shaq for the one season because of his dominance. I would. As much as
who would you take, Wilt at 33 or Michael Jordan at 25? Who would you take?
Always loved Wilt. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll find out whether Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith hate each other, too. And later, what should the Dolphins do with Brian Griese? Start him or sit him?
Wilt at 33. Jordan at 12.
Pardon the interruption. Presented by New Smirnoff Ice Triple Black. Triple filtered for a crisp, clean bite. And in part by McDonald's.
Tonight at 7, get fired up with Rome is Burning. At 7:30, Sergei Fedorov leads the Mighty Ducks against Mark Messier and the Rangers. Then at 8, back-to-back episodes of the hit series Playmakers. First an encore from last week. And at 9, an all-new Playmakers.
You can't hide from who you are.
I'm gonna make you so happy.
October has it all on ESPN and ESPN2 tonight.
We're going to get back into the Shaq and Kobe thing with TNT NBA analysts Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith. And let's start with the question that you guys would know that I don't know. Did you know they hated each other this much?
Well, you know, the thing that's funny, Tony, all it takes is one little thing to bring all this stuff out. I had no idea because it seemed like they had patched things up. They had won 3 championships. And then you think about Shaq said some of those things last year about, hey, we were just fooling the media. He fooled them good.
Well, the other thing I think of, Chuck, if you look at this, though, this is the first time that now we're talking about basketball with the Lakers. So I don't know if Shaq is really that smart to get everyone focusing on basketball, but this really did it.
I don't think that's true because the stuff he said about Shaquille was so personal. And at this point, no matter what they say, I don't think they can ever be friends from this point on. They just might be cordial to each other because they play on the same team. Because Kobe, he went for the juggler. Some of that stuff I think was really personal. I think a lot of it was unfair. And I just feel bad for the Lakers.
The weight issues. But I talk about your weight and you don't get upset. We still friends.
Yeah, what's wrong with Kobe? Ain't nothing wrong with being fat.
Charles, there's no secret. You had guys in the league at the time you were playing that you didn't particularly get along with very well. I'm wondering if there were teammates where it ever came to this point. I want to ask you and Kenny, were there teammates you just couldn't stand? And how did you resolve the situation?
First of all, on every team, Dr. J taught me from the beginning, there's always jealousy among teammates. But I've never seen it to this point. You know, there was rumors that Larry Bird and Kevin McHale obviously didn't get along, but they kept it on the Celtics. Now, I've obviously played with a couple guys. I don't want to mention the name. Armin Gilliam. There's always guys you don't get along with, but you always kept it in the team. Because obviously the press is hitting a gold mine with this situation, but you always kept it in-house. But that always happens but I don't think I've ever seen it to the extent and such a personal attack as Kobe did to Shaq.
Kenny,
And
what
it's
about
basketball, and it's basketball issues. That's why you're surprised that it didn't stay in-house, because all he had to do was go over 2 lockers and say, you know what, pass the ball more. And he said, you know what, I could do my thing. And you could have settled that dispute right then and there. You don't have to really use the media to kind of go about that to resolve that issue.
But they've been doing that for a year, Kenny. They've been going back and forth through the media at each other for a couple of years, haven't they?
Yeah, but it really hadn't been basketball issues. Like it's been more of a whose team is it? Those are things that are external. But it was more of like, you need to pass more while. I mean, those kind of things you could just go to the next locker room, right next locker, and say. And the things that Kobe said, you can go right back to the other locker and say directly to the person. That's why it was a little bit, I think even this one is a little bit more deeper wounds.
What if you guys are Karl Malone and Gary Payton? What are you thinking now, having taken so little money relative to what you could have gotten elsewhere to go and play for this team?
Well, I think obviously Karl and Gary obviously got to be. First of all, I don't think the Lakers are going to win the championship. I think the Spurs got a better team. I think that obviously I didn't think this team was going to work from the beginning. I really didn't think it was going to be Kobe and Shaq, to be honest with you. I thought it was going to be hard for Gary to handle the triangle and Karl to handle a reduced role. But this kind of really throws a monkey wrench into the entire. And I feel bad for Karl and Gary, because that was really humble and great what they did for the game.
Yeah, I think those two guys, though, they could look at this situation and say, you know what? Now if we do win a championship, we can be the reason. So it might be something that they could really inspire them, because they could kind of diffuse this whole situation. Because Gary and Karl are the only 2 guys who been all-stars, been Olympians, been great players that can really say something that has some validity, and those 2 guys probably respect.
Let me bring up the name of Phil Jackson, who's in charge of calming all this most of the time. Phil's a laissez-faire guy, as you know. Most of the time he calms things down by just sort of sitting around. Can he just sit around on this one, Charles, or does he have to really do more than even fining Kobe? Does he have to do more?
Well, first of all, I think Phil Jackson, other than Red Auerbach and maybe Pat Riley name in there as the greatest coach in basketball, I think that if anybody can handle this situation, it's him. But this is one he can't sit back and let them learn, because this between those 2 guys, I don't really think they can ever be friends, like I said earlier, because some of the stuff that Kobe said was really personal. Shaq's was actually more basketball related. And you know what, I'm not going to blame Shaq. He gets some blame. But what he said was like criticism of basketball. But Kobe took it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
I mean, he might as well say something about that boy's mama. You know, like in the ghetto, that's like the last straw. You say your mama. He took it so far, he almost said your mama. That was bad.
Yeah, you know, I think Phil has to say something. Not because of just what's been said, also because of what's all has been going around the team before this with the whole trial situation. So now you have so many fires that you have to put out, so many things you have to diffuse. I don't think you could just sit back and wait for the team to develop.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the decision now facing Wilbon's main man, Wani, down in Miami. Time to wipe the floor and toss up with my unprofessional, childlike teammate. Let's get the first one.
There, big
I
boy.
will opt out. We'll get the first one from the producer over the loudspeaker.
Toss up. Who should start for the Miami Dolphins? Brian Griese or Jay Fiedler?
Jay Fiedler should start when he's healthy. Until then, Brian Griese should start. It's a very romantic story that Brian Griese could succeed with the Dolphins where his father succeeded. But Fiedler's 4-2 this season. You don't pull him out.
And he's 33-15 as a starter lifetime. There's no reason to get rid of Fiedler. It's a great quarterback situation, though, they have there, Tony. Brian Griese is a guy who's completed 62% of his passes in his career. He's got a better than 500 record.
You never liked him.
In Denver, I didn't think he was the guy to succeed Elway. It's a tough position to put him in.
He had a great game last night against a terrible team.
That's what you want from your number 2
You can't go to the bank on one game against a bad team.
But you can put him in there, and he's going to play well.
Yeah, but Fiedler should get the start. What's next?
Toss up. Who will last longer in their current job? Steve Spurrier or Ty Willingham?
And there's no question. Tyrone Willingham will last longer at Notre Dame. He's got a 6-year contract. Notre Dame never fires anyone but until their first contract goes all the way through. I think he'll be at Notre Dame for 20 years. Steve Spurrier has a 5-year contract and has said publicly, after 3 years, I could be out of here.
If I'm not getting it done, go to a new coach.
Right.
Notre Dame didn't even fire Jerry Faust, who, let's face it, a wonderful man, a great high school coach, couldn't do it at that level. They're not going to fire Ty Willingham. It is no danger. Tony, I'm wondering about Spurrier. He has said to us and said publicly, hey, if I'm not getting it done after 3 years, what if they lose to the Cowboys and go 3-8?
You think it's possible that he could be out after 2, don't you?
If he decides he doesn't want to do it anymore.
I love Spurrier. I advocated for his hiring.
I want to see it work, but if they lose to the Cowboys, what's
next?
Toss up. Who's more likely to stumble this weekend, Oklahoma or Miami?
I don't think either team will stumble. If I had to say one would have more trouble, I think it's Miami. They go to Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech had that terrible loss at West Virginia. They are a desperate team. I believe they have a better shot at coming close to Miami than Oklahoma State does coming close to Oklahoma.
Wrong answer.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
When does Miami lose? In the regular season or to a Big East team? The answer is they don't. They just don't lose to these people. And Virginia Tech does what every year? They go 6-0, 7-0, and then they start to lose in bunches in November. And it will be November.
What do you think about
Oklahoma has lost twice to Oklahoma State already. The last 2 games, they've lost 2 of the last 3 in Norman, where this game is. And Oklahoma State is number 14 in the BCS.
Why Oklahoma will run roughshod over Oklahoma State this week. What's next?
Toss up. Who's more likely to make the World Series next season, the Marlins or the Red Sox?
There's no question it's the Red Sox, and here's why. They have all their best players under contract through the end of next year. The Marlins have their great pitchers, but they cannot keep Pudge Rodriguez, Mike Lowell, Ugi Urbina, and Luis Castillo. They don't have the money. They have no walk-up crowd. They cannot keep them all.
Walk-up crowd? They didn't have a walk-up crowd
They have no money.
They don't have to. They got the pitchers signed. If you have pitching, which we are always told is such a huge percentage, they got starting pitching, Tony.
And Pedro Martinez isn't a starter? And Derek Lowe isn't a starter? And Tim Wakefield, who won a couple of games?
Pitching is better right now, Florida's or Boston's? Florida's, you know it is.
You honestly believe that the Red Sox don't have a better shot with all their hitters intact?
We don't even know if Manny's going to be able to get along with the manager. He's going to give him ice cream. The new manager
doesn't mean beans. What's next?
Last one, toss up. What's the better Halloween costume, Bartman or Siegfried and Roy?
Okay, look, I am not the most tasteful guy in the world, but I'm not going near Siegfried and Roy. I mean,
you said you were going to dress up and put the little stuffed tiger on your neck.
He's in a hospital, for God's sakes. The answer is Bartman. You got the Cubs hat, you got the green turtleneck, you got the blue sweatshirt, you got the forlorn look. The guy's in witness protection. He's the man. He's the guy you go with.
You know what? You mean it's bad taste for me if I want to go with the stuffed tiger around my neck and the ketchup poured out?
That's the wrong way to go.
I got to take the costume back now. What am I supposed to do?
Wrong way to go. Time for a break. You didn't have a wig.
Dress up?
Don't go anywhere because we still got to talk about Alyssa Milano, Bruce Jenner, and Bobby Knight's reference to Saddam Hussein. And that can't be good. It can't be good.
Your boy invoking Saddam Hussein.
It can't be good.
Coming up on SportsCenter, the latest in the Shaq-Kobe feud, headlines opening night in the NBA. Who's going to win the NBA title? And why Jamal Lewis's run for 2,000 yards is being stifled by his own coach. SportsCenter, 6 p.m. Eastern.
Pardon the interruption. Presented by New Smirnoff Ice Triple Black. Triple filtered for a crisp, clean bite. And in part by Washington Mutual Home Loans. We write our own approval rules so you can get into the house without the hassles. An equal housing lender. And NikeBasketball.com.
Happy time, people. Happy 54th birthday to Bruce Jenner. 27 years ago in Montreal, you broke the world record in the Olympic decathlon. You were young, handsome, and in great demand. Now you're on an island saying, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. And what is the deal with your face?
He is second only to Michael Jackson in bad plastic surgery among male celebrities.
He's not even top 5. Not top 5.
Oh, yes, he is.
Happy anniversary, Atlanta Braves. On this day 8 years ago, you won your one and only World Series title. You beat the Cleveland Indians. 12 straight years to the playoffs, 96 wins a year, and 1 ring. I hesitate to use the word choke, but what happens to these guys in the playoffs, Michael?
Some kind of bad fortune. They're running the hot pitchers in this case. They had a better daily lineup. I don't get it.
One time
I don't understand
for the ring. Happy trails, Daryl Russell. Just hours after being reinstated to the NFL, you were released by the Oakland Raiders. And just hours after that, you were scheduled to talk to Dan Snyder about joining the Washington Redskins. Should they sign him, Wilbon?
If he's eligible and he appears to be under NFL rules and they need a Pro Bowl defensive tackle, Why not?
Character issue on any level? Character issue any level?
He just got reinstated. There'd have to be some character issue. Is there a tackling issue? That's what they want
to find out what we messed up, Stat Boy.
It's definitely a tackling issue. Kobe's doubtful for tonight, so you might not even get that pregame introduction.
Well, wouldn't he come out in a suit and get cheered?
Well, you're right. Okay, Greasy or Feeler, Dave Wannstedt doesn't know that. He'll decide that tomorrow. Tony, you forgot the Walkman in the Bartman
Oh, that's
costume.
right. Yeah, the 1987 Walkman.
Yeah.
That's part of the whole thing for Bartman.
Don't mention Bartman.
Run out of show. Here we go to the big finish.
Let's do it.
Whitey Herzog, your boy, said he'd listen if the Red Sox called. Should they?
Why not? He's a year younger than Jack McKeon, only 71.
The
Bring
white
him up.
rat.
Bob Knight, your boy, says he skipped the coaches' convention because he'd rather listen to Saddam talk about civil rights than some of his peers talk about ethics. Your thoughts?
I wouldn't have gone to Saddam Hussein, but some of the guys who talk about ethics have none. Marlins pitcher Carl Pavano is reportedly dating Alyssa Milano. Your reaction?
If she marries him and changes her name, she's Alyssa Milano Pavano.
All
Pretty
right.
good, right?
All right.
The Mavs will wear shimmery silver uniforms tonight. Is that going to make you watch?
I don't care if they come out in tube tops. I'm watching 24. I'm not watching
24
this.
will be over before the game. Do you understand
Well,
that?
then where am I? I'm asleep. Last one, big shot. Will the Lakers win tonight?
Home opener. They got to win tonight.
We're out of time. Try and do better the next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
And I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow. Dan Patrick and SportsCenter are next with everything you need to know about the tip-off of the NBA season.